Trump supporters are poisoning their children because of lies being spread by none other than anti-vaxxer Robert Kennedy Jr. Some parents in Texas are administering extremely high doses of vitamin A to their measles-stricken children in an attempt to prevent or treat the measles virus. This quote-unquote treatment is completely baseless and is a conspiracy driven by RFK Jr. Take a look.
Singing your praises, talking about you going all in, you providing the vaccines,
we're providing vaccines.
Triage, basically.
Yeah, we're providing vitamin A.
Well, he mentioned that. Yeah.
Which, there are many studies, some showing 87% of effectiveness of vitamin A.
To help. But
against serious disease and death.
Yeah.
So here's RFK Jr. sitting in a Steak and Shake talking to Sean Hannity about measles treatments. And let's just be clear about one thing. The only preventative measure to measles is the vaccine for it, which has an effectiveness rate of 97%. It is a vaccine that is safe and massively effective. So what consequences are RFK's vitamin A craze causing? Well, dozens of children are now being admitted to hospitals in Texas for measles, and doctors are discovering that these children have highly toxic levels of vitamin A in their systems. So much so that some children are suffering liver damage because of these idiotic parents that are giving them so much vitamin A because of RFK's dangerous lies.
A new problem is rising from medical disinformation during the current measles outbreak. According to Texas Public Radio, a hospital in Lubbock says it is treating children who already have measles for severe vitamin A toxicity. Recently, U.S. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy directed the CDC to update its measles guidelines to promote the use of vitamin A. It has been used to treat symptoms related to measles, but vitamin A is not a cure or treatment for the disease. We want to put that out there. And according to the CDC, vitamin A may be administered to infants and children with measles under the supervision of a healthcare provider. But CDC officials stress it's no substitute for vaccination. They also warn that overuse of vitamin A can be toxic.
This is so insanely ridiculous. And it is my personal belief that these parents should be charged with child endangerment. But then again, the man running the Department of Health and Human Services is telling the general public to ingest vitamin A as a treatment for measles. He is putting the lives of children at risk because he baselessly claims that there are other treatments and preventative measures for measles other than getting a damn vaccine. And now a child is dead because their parents opted to not get them vaccinated. When you watch this next video, your jaw is going to be on the floor. Dallas ABC affiliate WFAA has the story.
Department of State Health Services will release updated numbers on the measles outbreak in Texas. So far, one child has died from measles here in Texas, and now we are hearing from her parents. Teresa Woodard joins us with their comments about the MMR vaccine. Teresa.
Yeah, Cynthia, the parents said their daughter Kaylee was 6 years old when she died on February 26th. The organization that interviewed them and posted that interview online is extremely anti-vaccine. And the parents still are too.
Her fever didn't want to go away.
The interview with this mother and father began in English, but at times switched to German with a translator. They are part of the Mennonite community in West Texas, identified by the state as the center of a measles outbreak that's infected more than 300 people since January. Their 6-year-old daughter developed pneumonia, a side effect of measles. She was the first death recorded from measles in the U.S. in a decade. She was unvaccinated.
She says they would still say don't do the shots. There's doctors that can help with measles. They're not as bad as they're making it out to be.
The nonprofit Children's Health Defense conducted the interview. Robert F. Kennedy founded this organization in 2007. He's now the Secretary of Health. CHD is strongly anti-vaccine.
The measles vaccine is unequivocally safe and effective. Misinformation and disinformation cost us lives.
Public health experts say the erosion of trust in the MMR vaccine means a once-eliminated disease is once again a threat, and preventable deaths.
He says God does no wrong.
Yes, absolutely. We would absolutely not take the MMR like the measles wasn't that bad.
Are being prevented no more. In Dallas, I'm Teresa Woodard.
The measles wasn't that bad. The measles wasn't that bad. Their child is dead because of it, and they refuse to get their child vaccinated even after burying their daughter. They are still anti-vax and believe that God has a plan. Now, I don't have the time today to talk about my opinions on organized religion, but this really just encapsulates Trump's America perfectly. And what really caught my attention was that this very anti-vax organization that interviewed them, the Children's Health Defense, was run by none other than our Secretary of Health and Human Services, RFK. RFK's dangerous actions are killing children, and the fact that this got like half a news cycle is really telling to all the fucked up shit happening in our country right now. The Children's Health Defense is a nonprofit organization that is known for its anti-vaccine advocacy, also known as pro-killing children advocacy, and was chaired by RFK from 2015 to 2023 when he stepped down in order to run his failure of a presidential campaign. The CHD has been involved in nearly 30 federal and state lawsuits since 2020, with many of these lawsuits targeting the very department that RFK now oversees. And it is already clear that they are having success since the beginning of the Trump regime, as RFK is already spitting their talking points like the bitch that he is. As RFK continues to spew anti-vax rhetoric while in his capacity as Secretary of the federal government, there is no doubt that people will continue to die and the diseases that were considered eradicated will come back. I also have no doubt that vaccines will become harder to access as these anti-vax organizations now have a direct line to an administration that has long proven that it does not care about the vast majority of Americans. I'll see you tomorrow, friend.